Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
It's a week late, but we're still going to celebrate. So happy belated birthday, Jodie.
Thank
And
you.
welcome everyone to Abby's Window, bringing everyone on screen right now. So thank you all for joining us today. We're going to have a good time. We're going to celebrate. We're going to talk a little bit about some Bray stuff and try to help everyone relax. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. So, again, welcome everyone. I would love to go down the list. Well, you know what? Let me do this real quick. Let me see if I can get through this real quick. Jeremy Dunderman, channel member. Thank you for joining us. James Chadwick, Christopher, Erase Your Mind, Dylan McClure, the Blissful Giants fan. Dom is in the chat. So Marvin, Diana, let's see here. I'm in the chat. Let's see here.
We're everywhere, Jeff. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
All
Big
up in your
Dan.
business.
Yeah, that's right. All up in your business. Big Dan, I'm acknowledging you. Consider yourself acknowledged. Jeremy Stewart, Rara Kitty, EJ Movement, Kevin, Alicia, Paul, James Grant, Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809, Herdy Sketch, Tazzy is also in the chat and on the screen. So, Richard, what's up, Richard? Thank you all for joining us this evening. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. We are celebrating Jodie's birthday. Her birthday was last week, but we are going to celebrate today and have some fun with all of you. So,
my birthday was night 2 of WrestleMania, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was an interesting night.
Interesting. Is it? Bless you.
Calm Show, what's up? Thank you for joining us. So yeah, let's have a good time. Let's have a good time and try to help some people relax.
Yes.
So I do have a couple photos here of what you were doing on your birthday.
I absolutely love that.
Yep, that was the day before my birthday, WrestleMania Night 1. I got to spend some time with Mr. Kyle Scarborough.
Nice.
And he did that tattoo for me on my right leg. I literally, all I told him was I wanted a ripped look with a cross that looked like actual nails, and that's what he drew. So he is a very talented individual. Got to spend some good time with him. My 5-year-old son absolutely adores him.
Oh.
He actually, I didn't send a picture, but he actually wrote his name. Like, he actually made him a card and actually was able to actually write Kyle's name. And it was adorable. So we watched some NXT during my appointment and kind of talked about that. And he and my husband talked more than I did. They were chatty Cathy's with each other. So
No.
it was a good day. Always fun spending some time with Kyle. That's like our annual tradition now. I go see him for my birthday.
There you go.
As long as you had a good day, that's all that matters, Jodie.
That's right.
It was a good day. It's always nice spending the day with him.
That's awesome. And I've got to ask this question because I asked this question of everyone that I know that has tattoos. Do they hurt?
It depends.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first got my tattoo, it did hurt, but then it makes you want to get more. It's kind of like a potato chip. You just can't stop at one.
Yeah.
You just can't stop at one.
There were moments during
Pagos.
It was more
want a tattoo
areas that he was going back over. Like touching up some areas at the towards the end. Most of it didn't, that was my 9th tattoo. So once you've had so many, you kind of get used to what it feels like.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I was trying to explain this to my husband. It's like you got a really bad sunburn.
That's pretty much it. And it takes a couple weeks just for it to heal, and then just take care of it. Just take care of it. So.
The scabby part's done. It's just dry right now. The peely part. So,
Jeff, do you want a tattoo?
Yes, that's my fear is that I'll get one and want a ton.
Yeah, that's
you will.
thing.
It's gonna
happen. Anybody that's gotten just one.
I'm very guilty. Very guilty of that. Very guilty.
Like I said, I only wanted to get one. My first one was this one, my one of Tate on my arm, and now I have 9. So
there you go.
And I'll get like I said, this is an annual thing for me and Kyle. So I'll go see him again next year for another one.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I basically want a sleeve, but I'll talk to you guys about the idea. It incorporates my kids, so yes, I want to.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on where you get it too. Like surprisingly, the one that hurt the most was this one. And it only took him like maybe 10 minutes to do it, but because of where it is, like it hurt really bad.
It's a very sensitive area. It's just like what Joy says. It all depends on where it is. If it's on the bone, like on here, you're gonna feel it. Like it's. I mean, even wherever you get the tattoo, you're gonna feel it. But when it's on the bone, it's a whole different feel.
Yeah, but like this one that Kyle didn't really hurt that much.
No. See, my first tattoo, I got it on my back. It's the Wyatt symbol, with the red buzzard with the lantern in the middle. It didn't hurt as much.
Yeah,
it didn't really hurt as much. I mean, it hurt, but it didn't hurt like severe.
Yeah.
But when I got the arrow tattoo, that hurt because it's on the bone.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
It's addicting though. It makes me want to get more, and I'm already craving to get another one. I want to get my dog's paw print on my ankle.
Yep,
that's the next one I want.
Well, I mean, look at Kyle too. He's covered in tattoos.
He's covered. Yeah.
Right.
And Bray's got it on the back of his head.
Yeah, Kyle's covered in tattoos.
No, Kyle's awesome.
Yeah. He's a fun person to spend the day with for sure.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about one fun person and go to another fun person, and we're going to go into Caleb's corner right now. And Jodie, take it away.
Thank you, Dom. First of all, for the lovely birthday video.
My
that
pleasure.
I got from him. Props to my friend Laura, who went to one of the shows that he did last week and grabbed these pictures from her, which is awesome. It looks like she said they had a blast, an amazing time, and great show. Obviously, I know the next time they're going on tour is to the UK, which is going to be amazing. She went to the show at Westbury in Long Island because that's where she lives. So, she said it was an amazing show, and Caleb said it was an amazing show. Actually, the video that he made for me that you ordered, Dom, he did that before that show. which is awesome. So yeah, next time they're going on tours, going to the UK, super excited about that. I know they are too. It's been, I think John, the drummer, said today it's been 30 years since they've toured over there with me, and obviously Caleb has never been over there. So I have a feeling this tour in the UK is going to be insane. I will be at the show in Birmingham with my mom. Nice. I'm trying to see if maybe I can get to another show before we go on our little Mediterranean cruise. So yeah, if you are in the UK and have not seen them live, this is going to be a really special tour. So definitely make sure that you go, because it's fantastic. It's like a 7-8 date tour, ending in London. So at the O2, which is going to be phenomenal. I originally did have tickets to that, but my parents talked me out of it to go on this Mediterranean cruise. So I did wrestle with that quite a bit. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I can't, both of those are potentially once in a lifetime opportunities. But, with my dad, I'm kind of running out of time to spend some really good time with him that he might remember. So, I'm going on that little cruise with them. So I'm really excited. My husband is very jealous that I get to go to Amsterdam. Yeah, he's like, really? You go to Amsterdam? So I did already, and the funny thing about the great thing about my parents, we're actually going with my mom's best friend. They've been best friends since they were 15 years old. So we're going with, so I grew up with her kids. Actually, at one point, there was some kind of arranged marriage between me and their son, which obviously didn't end up happening. But, I grew up with them, fantastic couple. So we're going with them, and they are such a blast. That the first thing I said when we were talking about going to Amsterdam, I didn't even have to say anything. And my mom was like, don't worry, we're going. And I'm like, this is my mom. Like, how weird is that going to be? But they're so much fun. They're just a blast to hang out with. So it's going to be, and there's going to be a lot of laughs on that entire cruise.
That's awesome.
Lots and lots and lots of laughs.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And my mom's booked tickets for us to go to the Anne Frank house. So that'll be interesting as well.
You'll have the best time. It's a great time.
I'm looking forward to it. Lots of once in a lifetime opportunities there, but really excited to see Caleb as well. I really enjoyed that video, Dom. I appreciate it. He did say at one point in there that, that I proved to you that anybody can draw a stick figure, which was pretty funny.
I believe I was in the stadium because I'd done SmackDown. I did SmackDown the night before Mania, and I can't remember the exact date, but I was doing something that was very integral to my trip, and I was like, okay, well, because you'd messaged me saying, hopefully it's going to be there, and I was like, I'll just check, and I was on my my phone, and I was like, oh my god! So I didn't even get a chance to watch it because obviously I was out and about doing stuff. Yeah. So I was like, I hope this is worth it. I'm glad that it is. So yeah, I am a man of my word.
100%. And I had actually ordered. I said no shame. I'm going to order one for myself too for my birthday, and recorded that one right after he made yours. And the first thing he said, he was like, "It's Caleb Johnson again. This is the second video I recorded for you in a day." He said, "You're just a popular person." So yeah, that was awesome. Always good to hear from him.
That's really cool.
Awesome stuff. Well, Dom, you talked about it a little bit, and I do want to get you, if you don't mind, to share a little bit of your experience, your WrestleMania experience with all of us and the folks that are watching and in the chat. If you don't mind, please, sir.
Yeah, of course. Well, I missed you guys. I was with the boys from Gimme a Hull, yeah, which is obviously our channel. If you go and if you either subscribe to that or check it out, it's a channel I set up with some of my best friends many years ago. I got to go to WrestleMania with them. That was the reason we did it. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Also, the son of Los Angeles appeals because I'm from Yorkshire in the UK. And for those that know Yorkshire in the UK, we don't get a lot of sunshine. So Los Angeles was amazing for that. I've been before. I've got friends from college. I went to college in New Hampshire, so I've got friends who either moved to Boston, New York, or Los Angeles. So I've got a bunch of friends who live over there, and I got to see them for the first time in a few years. But in terms of WrestleMania, man, SoFi was amazing. What a wonderful stadium. Just a beautiful space in terms of accessibility for those that obviously, those that know, those that don't know, I've got cerebral palsy, so it was interesting getting around, but everyone was very supportive and very helpful from an accessibility point of view, which was great. So that was amazing. Got to spend a few days with, again, my best friends, got to make some new friends, and it was awesome. Obviously very, very sad that Bray didn't show up. That was one of the reasons I decided to go. And I have obviously shared that with you guys. One of the main reasons I decided to go was Bray, but it's all right because we just did a stream just before this on our WrestleMania kind of reactions and what it meant to us to go. For me to be connected to those guys and kind of I've been friends with them for many years now. To go with them, it was just a beautiful moment to see people that I haven't seen for 5, 10, sometimes longer years as well. Some of my American friends. Was just a wonderful, wonderful time. So the wrestling was great. I've got a couple of great matches that I will always remember. That triple threat Intercontinental Championship match was amazing, of course. The stadium itself was amazing, but the atmosphere and the vibe, man. Wrestling fans, honestly, I've made some new friends. We might actually be having one of them guest on the channel in the next couple of weeks. Because I love how everybody's just connected, man. How we connected through wrestling, myself and you guys at the Insiders. I experienced that again tenfold at WrestleMania, just meeting people that I connected with, people that listened to me, I listened to them. We shared each other's, kind of thoughts and feelings and emotions. And sometimes we didn't even talk about wrestling. We talked about life and love and all that stuff. I honestly love the wrestling community, outside of the Bray community that we have here. You guys are wonderful, but the wider wrestling community as well. It was amazing. And for me, as a kid that grew up not thinking that I was ever going to have an opportunity like that, actively told that I wasn't going to do much traveling, to then be able to do that, and obviously do a lot of traveling when I was younger, but then to get to do, something like this, which was always a dream come true, and to be able to do it with some of my best friends and keep in touch with some of you guys as well on Twitter and things like that. Honestly, my life doesn't get much better than that. I felt so privileged to have the opportunity to go, to get a bit of sun, to see some wrestling live on a grand scale, because I've only ever seen house shows before that. So just a wonderful experience, really. And if you have the time and the resources to go, I would recommend it to anyone. And I hope to be back for another WrestleMania and to hopefully catch up with some of this wonderful community as well, face to face one day, because it was an absolutely amazing experience. But as I said when I started, I definitely missed this, guys.
Well, we missed you, and we're glad that you had a great time. Sounds like you had a great trip. I am doing everything in my power to make next year happen.
Yeah.
I want to take the kids. I want to go to Philly.
Me too.
Romania next year. So,
we all should do it, and we just do like a group photo of all of us. Nice reunion, or meeting new people in person. That would be wonderful. A cool experience. It'd be a beautiful, beautiful moment.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So obviously this show is themed around Bray, so we're here to talk about him. And I had to put it together.
That's great.
But I wanted to start with Dom here, and then we'll go to Nicole, and then Tazzy, and then Jodie. But Dom, you mentioned Bray. I wanted to ask, what were there people in the stadium that were kind of feeling the same? What were some of the conversations or comments that you overheard during WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's a really interesting conversation, man. Obviously, this is the premier place where you can find all of your Bray needs on YouTube, and but you realize the community is the Bray community is vast. You would overhear conversations. Obviously, I took part in a couple of conversations. I did promote the insiders every opportunity I got. As well as I tend to do, but yeah, a lot of people were just saying, even wrestling fans who aren't necessarily the biggest Bray fans, they were saying, we there's a notable Bray-sized hole in the programming. You know what I mean? That gap in creativity, because obviously it is a wrestling show, but there was the closest thing we got was the Balor stuff and the Demon stuff, which was great, but it wasn't quite the same. So a lot of people were disappointed. I saw a lot of the new shirts, a lot of that. I saw there was a particularly sad moment a couple of rows down from me where I saw a dad consoling his daughter because Alexa wasn't there and she was really upset, And so obviously that's tied into Bray as well. So a lot of people, and overheard a lot of people in the arena. I wish Bray was back. I hope Bray is back. Well, he must be back. He was seen in LA. A lot of that just within earshot. So that must have been, that was just me and my, sort of 5-6 rows down or up. So it must have been all over the arena. But certainly the conversations I had with people, even people that aren't even massive fans of his in-ring work, people were noticing the difference, and they wanted him back too. People said, if you're going to bring him back, that was the thing, man. People were saying before, if they're going to bring him back, this has to be the time to do it, right? And then afterwards, it was like, that was a missed opportunity. And there was a lot of people in our group that were, that sort of sat on both sides of that. If they're going to do it, they've got to do it here, right? He's in LA, right? And then that was the general vibe before. And then afterwards, it was, well, that was a huge missed opportunity. And there was a definite kind of, I noticed particularly after the second night, because there was always that hope, but there was a definite lull, in certain parts of that crowd. The Raw after Mania, there were so many opportunities while we were there because we did SmackDown and we did Raw. So there was a lot of people, the Raw after Mania as well. I think there was a few We Want Bray chants where we were anyway. I don't know if they made it to TV, but they certainly were chanting it where we were. So there was a lot of that, and a lot of, I think, sadness that not only Bray didn't show up, but I know Alexa was there. She was with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think it was pictured on social media, but obviously not on camera. And there was a lot of sadness for that too. So yeah, it was notable. And that's for me as a fan. But even outside of that, outside of the community, I heard whispers and I had conversations with people that aren't massive Bray fans that noticed and were notably kind of taken aback by the lack of Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 39.
Well, I think there's a 2-word reason as to why he wasn't.
I mean, that's that. We heard that all that stuff came out as we were there. Yeah. The Endeavor stuff and the Vince stuff. The mood certainly in our camp, in the Give Me a Whole Year camp, sort of dropped, and it was noticeable. It was noticeable in the hotel we were staying at. A lot of the wrestling, the Progress guys, Progress Wrestling, all the wrestling, independent wrestlers stuff was all where we were hotel-wise. So there was conversations around how that was going to affect the inside. A lot of people that obviously work with people that work in WWE were around us. So it was, there was a lot of that negativity, a definite negative energy, I'm going to say. And again, that's why I tend to focus and why I focused on the experience rather than the wrestling, because if I'm honest, maybe 10% of it was the wrestling for me. And actually 90% of it was the experience of being there with my friends and those connections. Because if I'd just been there for the wrestling, I hope I don't sound like an ass here, but I would have been bitterly disappointed. And that's as a Bray fan. And the Raw after Mania was less than stellar. And we were obviously
it was awful. It's okay. I mean, you can say
I was there, man.
It was awful.
I mean, the Cody Brock thing was a definite shock. That was probably the most like holy monkey moment of the whole weekend was the Cody Brock stuff.
But then it pissed you off right after it, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
something didn't sit right with me when that happened. I'm like, something bound's gonna happen at the end of the night, and lo and behold,
every time you have someone calling the shots, it really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people in the comments saying it's not not everything is Vince's fault, and I get that. Like, I'm not necessarily saying it is. What I'm saying is the mood is changed. So whether it's Vince's fault or anything, he has the aura. You can't deny whether he's made it so or other people have made it so. Vince has the aura where the mood drops. Whether it's his fault or not, that is the case. His aura means that just his vibe tends to drop morale, and I think that was the case. That unfortunately, when that news dropped, everybody's morale did plummet a little bit. And I've never met Vince McMahon. Maybe he's a complete hoot. Maybe he's a lovely person to be around. Maybe he fills everybody with joy unless you yawn in his presence, I believe. Is it the yawning thing or the chewing? You can't yawn in Vince McMahon's meetings, apparently. Yeah. So unless you yawn, he may be a lovely, maybe a barrel of laughs. I don't know. But, I mean, people have reported it. People have said things for years about how, things can change in his presence. So, and certainly even as fans on the outside, you certainly notice that mood drop, and that was palpable the whole weekend. That was palpable. So I focused very much on my experience and connecting with the wider wrestling community. And when you talked about wrestling, when you talked about what got them into it, characters like Bray and why they love Bray, that stuff, man. That's why I love being here with you guys. People love this S word, people love it. And that's what I loved. I loved being there amongst it. I loved being there in the middle of it, and it was wonderful. Just the chants, the vibe, everyone said hi, everyone was helpful, everyone was supportive. I know that's not the case everywhere, particularly on Twitter and the internet, but like, in most cases, every wrestling fan I encountered at WrestleMania was wonderful, and as just as welcoming as you guys have been to me. But yeah, Vince McMahon, maybe it's all Vince's thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe Vince is like, maybe Vince is lovely. Who knows?
Well, let me ask you this, Don, because you brought this up, and then I'll go to Nicole next. You brought this up, WrestleMania 39 being the perfect opportunity, a great opportunity. So obviously they've missed that window. So what in your mind is a close second at this point? Because that's what we're getting.
The draft, man. I mean, everybody on the roster is eligible, right? So unless he's gone, which who knows? Obviously, a lot of people saying he's not cleared. Obviously, again, health comes first. So, but I think the draft has to be it for me. I need to change my language, because what I want is irrelevant in this context. What I would like is for Bray to show back up at the draft, and for us to have that. I think that would be cool. They've used the draft to bring in some big names before, to reintroduce people, So maybe that's what they do, because I guess that's the next big thing, right? That's the next big option. I don't think they'd have him come back tonight. I don't think they'd have him come back on SmackDown. So maybe it's the draft, and that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, when do you think a good opportunity to bring him back? And what do you think about some of the reports that are out there right now in terms of, just everything that's going on? What's your message to Bray fans, and when do you think a good time is to bring him back?
Well, I'm with Don with that. I feel like he's going to return around the draft, maybe after the draft. Because you want to know the truth? I said this many times. I'd rather be surprised. I don't want there to see. I don't want to. I try my best to not look at the reports, because because I feel like it spoils a lot, especially with how Bray Wyatt's mind works, with popping up everywhere, all over the place with the Uncle Howdy and the puppets. Well, as far as the reports go, I mean, if he is still not cleared, I mean, it's not his fault. He's got an illness and he's got physically illness, whatever. So he needs to be 100% before he can even step in the ring. And at the end of the day, these guys are human beings, and they need to take care of themselves before they do anything. Their health comes first. And I feel like I understand, like, a lot of fans miss him. Listen, we all miss him. Jodie, Dom, Tazzy, myself, you, Jeff. We all want him back, but we want him to be okay health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was more important. It's just as important as him coming back. So I feel he might come back during the when the draft begins, or maybe afterwards. Who knows? But it'd be nice. I'm with Dom with that, and that he would come back in the draft, but he needs to be 100%. I'd rather him take all the time that he needs to be okay before instead of him coming back and still feeling like crap. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want that for him, just to rush, because it's been a while it's been almost 2 months has it been almost 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
He's been out. So like I said before, his health comes first. But I feel around the draft, I'm sure he'll be okay by then.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that same thing, and not to get too preachy, because I already did this on this channel last week. Not to get too preachy, but the only thing I'll say is the man's health and well-being is more important than a storyline.
Exactly.
I understand that a lot of us want to see him on TV. I do. I know we all want to see him back. We want to make sure he's okay. That's great. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is his health and well-being. Whatever's going on, we're not privy to all of the information, nor should we be. If he's decided to take a little bit of a leave of absence to deal with whatever, then that's okay. When he comes back, I'll say this, and I know I think Jesse said this in the chat, but I just want to echo this. If he comes back and he doesn't have to leave again, or if he rushes to come back and he's got to leave again in 2 months, which would you rather have? I'd rather have him back when he's fully ready to go. No, everything is as calm as it can be, and he has the opportunity to really fully delve into this storyline.
And I'm sure Triple H is aware of the situation. I'm sure he's aware of that, and he understands Bray Wyatt, because he loves Bray Wyatt just like us. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he understands that his situation, and he respects his privacy, because everyone also has to understand that Bray Wyatt is a very private person. He is not one to bring out his information to anybody, and it's really none of anybody's concern other than his family.
I think
people that are close to him.
Yeah, there's an interesting point about, going back on what some of you guys have said there. With something like the draft too, it might be a really nice way to sort of tease Bray's return, because the draft doesn't have to mean he shows up that week. So it would appease a lot of people, even if Bray wasn't 100%, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we could have him announced for Raw on the draft, and then him not show up for another 3 weeks or a month. But the fact that people know he's still there, I think that's what people would like, because I know there's a lot of rumors flying around, a lot of dirt sheets. I know a lot of people are mentioning dirt sheets in the chat. So I think, again, they could at least hint where he's going in the draft, Raw or SmackDown, and then he could still have a few more weeks to recover, or even a month or beyond that. But the fact is, we would know, or the fans would know, the community would know when he was back. And I think that would be a nice happy medium between where WWE is and where the community is, because even if he's not back and he needs to rest more, we could still have an indication of where he's going to be, you know, and the fact that he is going to be somewhere.
Yeah, and the fact that he showed up at Mania is also a good sign. You know, if he was still sick, he probably wouldn't have gone. But the fact that he was there is a good sign that maybe he is better than what he was before. But if he's not clear, that's perfectly fine too. It's good. I think it's good that he is still taking the time that he needs to get to be 100%. So
I'll just say that when he does come back, and I'm saying when, not if, there's going to be a lot of people that feel really stupid.
Exactly, Jodie.
Tazzy,
I stay back and I just
let people do their thing.
I pray that he gets better, and that's it.
Yeah. We also have Joe joining us. What's up, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Hello, everyone. You know, first I wanted to say happy birthday, belated birthday to Jodie, because this was supposed to be a big birthday celebration for her. So first off, that. Secondly, hope everyone had a great Easter.
Yes, happy Easter to everyone. Yes,
have an awesome holiday. And you know, I'm thanks for bringing me in. I just wanted to say really quickly, because I heard you guys discussing, and I appreciate it. And Dom, amazing that you went to WrestleMania, man. I hope you had an awesome time. What you spoke about there is what, if I go to Philly next year, what I want to get to is the experience. I don't, you know, the wrestling is obviously the main attraction, but I am really excited just to go. Just for the experience of it. And now my daughter's interested too, so we'll see. It might be a father-daughter thing, but it sounded like
a big old party.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Big old
I
party.
go, Nicole goes, Jeff goes, you go.
My boyfriend is looking to go next year, so we'll most likely be there next year.
Yep.
And the only other thing I really wanted to say was I saw a post the other day, and I'm not going to mention any names and stuff like that. It was a post that came to Insider as well. It was part of a conversation. And I've had to answer a lot of this and I don't care. It's what I do. But I've had to answer a lot of this from people who were asking, where is he? Why isn't he back? What's going on? What, you know, is it Vince? Is it, you know, did he walk out? Now, the latest rumor today was because one of his writers got fired like 3 months ago. Listen, they're grasping at straws because no one knows. Okay. The other example I want to put out there and just get that on this video, just for people to hear, is we have to remember, and I know a lot of us want to put it out of our minds, but we have to remember 3 years ago, really, when Jeff and I started this show, we were in the midst of a horrible pandemic. We are in the midst of something that got everyone sick, right? That everyone wasn't feeling good. Well, for the most part, there were lucky ones who didn't. But, you know, and I look at it this way. If I have to, you know, if I'm not feeling well, okay, for whatever reason the case might be. I mean, I know everyone out there, you know, a lot of people out there work, obviously. Everyone's had to call off of work at some point in time or another. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes not. But you know, I know in my own experience, I've had to call out of work. Okay. And do I have tons of friends who I get along with at work? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've, you know, a lot of people I know well, but when I call off, I don't get these people calling me up or texting me or tweeting me demanding I explain to them why I'm not in work that day. And I don't get anything from my bosses asking me, well, why? When are you coming back? Why are you not in work? You know why? Because it's against the law. They can't ask you that. It's not, you know. Now there are some jobs that are probably out there that maybe, I don't know, maybe they can, maybe executive things, blah blah blah. But the whole point of it is, and this tweet that I saw, you know, was saying that, well, they owe us an explanation. They owe us, you know, saying when he's going to be back. He needs to say something. No, he absolutely does not.
No,
he owes us nothing.
Thank you.
It's just like us. Like I said, please put it in perspective of yourself. You owe no one nothing as well when you call off from work for whatever reason it is. You don't have to tell anyone why. It is your business. You and your family's business. You don't have to tell anyone, and neither does he. Yes, I understand there are a lot of people out there that are huge fans of his, which is the reason we do this show. But that doesn't give you the right to demand that you get anything from him other than what he wants to or feels to the need to give. And also remember, too, that if they are indeed planning for him to come back for the draft, they're not going to give anything away if they want it to be a big surprise. So that's all I really wanted to say was that, I'm so tired of seeing people saying, well, he needs to say something. No, he does not.
Need to say anything.
He does not.
He does not owe, just like what Joe says, he does not owe anybody, and no wrestler owes any wrestling fan anything when it comes to their personal life.
Yeah. I mean, none of us owe anything to anybody as far as that stuff's concerned. It doesn't matter. Entertainers are no different than human beings. They're no different than us. They're no different than anyone else. They get to live their lives the way they get to live it. Mm-hmm. Now, like you guys said, it's great that he was out and about. We did see, someone saw him in Florida, took that picture. That was cool. Someone saw him at WrestleMania in the car, and we're talking to him in the car. He looks like he's okay. And that's cool. Obviously he's getting better. But as Jeff told me, that doesn't mean that he's cleared to wrestle. If he still has some lingering effects going on, that's a whole different ballgame. That's an athlete not being allowed to do a sport because he's not fully healed from something yet. Let's say something affected, I don't know, his stomach, something affected his lungs, something affected something else, and he just can't perform with that being the case until he's cleared by a doctor. This happens all the time. If you're sports fan,
he also has a broken finger.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta listen to the doctor. Always listen to the doctor.
Yeah. This happens all the time to sports people, like everywhere, that they don't get cleared for, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months. It happens. So that's all I really wanted to say. And like I said, people just have to stop just thinking that these people, just because they're entertainers, owe us anything. They do not. Nope. They don't have to come out on Twitter and say, well, geez, guys, I'm really sorry. I haven't been around in 2 months, but it's because of blah, blah, blah. They don't. So that's my point. Sorry I took up time.
You didn't take up time. You said it beautifully, Joe.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But I want to listen, I'm over my little tirade that I had about the Cody thing. I was as mad as anybody, believe me. I sucked down like a 6-pack of Reds and I don't drink. So believe me, I was pissed. But hey, it is what it is. We get past it. We move on. Wrestling's wrestling. Now you're starting to read that storyline's been in place for the last 2 months with Brock and everything like that. So look, say what you will about Vince. Am I happy he's back in any capacity? No, the guy's I don't want to say what I think. Yeah, but and who I feel for with Vince are the women that are working for him. That's who I feel for.
Yep.
That's who I feel for. The women that have to go in there, whether it's the office, whether it's the wrestlers, any of them, the women who have to work for that, that's who I feel badly for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. But thank you.
There you go. There's Joe's thoughts. Let's Tazzy.
You want to hear my thought? Oh, okay. Here we go. Where do I start? First of all, I couldn't do this last week because honestly, I was on the Raw watch along or the NXT watch along. I want to give a big shout out to the Cameraman Day Triple H shout out last week. Stu. We were actually really close to us and a couple of friends. So big shout out to him that he got the big shout out because these guys don't get shout outs like that.
I agree.
So
you don't get enough credit.
Yeah, and he's been there. If I'm not mistaken, he's been there close to almost 20-something years. So shout outs to him.
Wow. Absolutely. We'll love for Stu on the Insiders.
Yeah, crazy. Whew, where do I start? It's crazy because as a Bray fan, I want him to be here as much as everybody wants to do. Monday, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. Last Monday, I basically was like, man, I'm sure glad I wish I had that watch along. I ain't not going to lie to you. I was like, because my thing is, I'm thinking the bigger picture. More likely is I can see everybody tell Triple H, hey, and I think me and Jeff talked about this. Hey, hold off on all the surprises for Monday Night Raw, because quite frankly, we got the draft. We just had WrestleMania. Why not do it on Friday, a week to be fresh, and then we can do some stuff. And then, for instance, this Monday tonight, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. Yes. Maybe Vince is there. I haven't heard nothing. He's not there. I heard he's not there. So
good.
Blah 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 blah. The other reports is basically when this completely is over, he has no power. He has no power whatsoever. He has no power on the creative side either. So maybe there was something like Triple H, like, hey, go for it. Go for it. One time only.
I don't think it was Triple H, honestly.
Right. It's just one to say, so go for
Triple
it. Like,
H
try it out.
Monday like that. He wouldn't have done Seth Rollins like that either.
I know.
He was supposed to.
I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Hazzy, can I throw this in real quick? Just a little behind the scenes stuff that maybe people don't think about sometimes.
Correct. Go for it.
One of the people involved in this Endeavor thing said that he'd never seen Vince's creative process up close and personal.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe this was a way for everybody to see his creative process up close and personal, and be able to decide, okay, yeah, this is not the look that we want. So
because now they've come out and said Vince is only going to own 18%.
Right. So again, I just think, sometimes I think we have to take a step back. I know it's easy to get caught up in the moment and everything. And listen, I'm not taking up for Vince. I don't want him anywhere near the product at all.
Right.
But I will say that sometimes, especially in a situation like they're in, they're showing off their product to their new ownership. So sometimes certain processes and things have to fall flat on their faces so they can be improved. So I get that Raw was, I didn't watch it. From everything that I've heard, I'm pretty glad that I didn't. But maybe that failure had to happen so it doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
I agree, Jeff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of those things. That's what basically I was trying to say. Sorry, my bad. That's what I was trying to say. So if you guys notice, you see SmackDown, how great SmackDown was. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. So I'm like saying that was a one-time thing to see how he does, and basically he's out of touch. Basically, what we've been saying for years, he's out of touch. Now
the new company had to see it themselves.
Exactly.
So just like what Jeff said.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, you're probably going to see a lot of the UFC fighters around, probably in the crowd. I hear in the rumor that Izzy's there tonight, so just keep an eye on that. Anyways, the Bray. Look, I know we want to have Bray there like now, like yesterday,
like 2 months ago.
As a person that works for a professional baseball team, you cannot rush when somebody's like not feeling well, hurt, or anything like that. Otherwise, they're going to get right back on the shelf again. So basically, if especially a person like this who's creative, you need him on screen. You need him on screen, and you need him focused. So whatever you got to do to have him focus and everything like that. And I know people are like, oh, maybe they release him. Really? You really gonna release him again? Really? You really think that? You're full of idiot. You're a bunch of idiots if you think that. And I said it. You're full of idiots if they're gonna release him twice. A moneymaker like that, you're not gonna release him. You're not gonna do it, especially with a new owner. You're not gonna release him.
I won't lie. I did message him after Raw.
Yeah.
Because that was, you knew it was all Vince. And I said, I swear, if Vince is back in charge and he releases you again, there are going to be riots, and that's all I said to him.
Right. And the other thing is, I don't think Vince is allowed to release anybody. That's the other thing too. So so that's not going to happen anyway. So yeah. I do see him in the draft. This is the whole reason why we're doing the draft. This is a chance for Triple H to actually, and ask my computer goes crazy, to actually reset. Like he can put people in place wherever he wants to. You can have these people on SmackDown, these people on Raw. Maybe a new title might be involved in all this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just throw it out there. There's a rumors about the design. I haven't heard there was a 1 or 2 designs, but I heard there's a design. So I'm just saying, just right there. So yeah, you can place Bray where you want to. More like he'll be a Raw. Not saying that because I do Raw. More like the Raw is the better show because it's longer. He can take a 4 hour if you want to, honestly. And then you also
wouldn't have a problem with us.
Right. It's just you just gotta have that. You can't rush that. I get why they put on SmackDown because that's SmackDown supposed to be the mothership show. That might change now. So that might change too because they might go back to the original plans because we don't know where these shows is going to end up. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. We start going to get GMs too. Don't be shocked about that. Just throw it out there. But yeah, I'm expecting Bray on Raw. He will get drafted no matter what. When he's going to show up is whenever. We got some big shows, but out of United States shows, so it should be. And everybody, mainly we want to try to get him ready for the Saudi shows because everybody love him in Saudi. So just throw it out there. That's the plan. I'm off my soapbox now. I'm good.
All right, Jody, and then I've got another question from Erase Your Mind for you guys.
I mean, we're all on that same bandwagon that, anytime you have Vince involved in creative, it's going to be a bad time. But I agree that Endeavor really needed to see that really fall flat on its face. Unfortunately, it was at the sacrifice of some amazing female wrestlers and, people like Seth Rollins that obviously everybody saw the video of his segment getting cut. Unfortunately it was at the sacrifice of them, which, is really sad, but I think Endeavor needed to see him fall on his face and see the difference between Vince running a show and Triple H running a show. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why night 2 fell short because I think Vince was the one more involved and night 1 was flawless because it was all Triple H. So, and I also think the backlash from the fans, I think that was loud enough for them to be like, whoa, okay. People don't want Vince calling the shots. And, I will give him credit. He's the one that started this company. We wouldn't have WWE if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. So, 100% credit to the guy. He's done some amazing things. I think he has a certain vision that doesn't match what needs to happen in this particular day and age. I think he has a very single focus vision that lacks a lot of diversity that Triple H is bringing into it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. He just has a particular way he likes things to be. And back in the 90s, that worked great. But today in 2023, you've got to have that diversity. You've got to have different people doing different things. And that's how you're going to, and I'm going to sound like Dom here, that's how you're going to appeal to casual fans is that diversity and having people doing different things. That's why Bray is so captivating because it's different. And you're not having everybody that's like just John Cena, Austin Theory, Roman Reigns type people. You have people, like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt and, people doing different things. And that diversity is such a needed thing in wrestling today. And I think, Vince just doesn't understand that. He wants things the way he wants them as opposed to, catering to the fans for a little bit. So, Yeah, I think they needed that to fall flat on its face to understand that Triple H is the future of this company, and he's done. The last 8 months that he's been in charge has been amazing. I don't think Vince needs to be fired. I just he needs to he just needs to have that smaller role. And raise your mind.
His son-in-law do the work. His son-in-law has proven that he is able to do it. These 9 months have been nothing but beautiful since Triple H has been
amazing. Erase your mind said it too. Vince was once a creative visionary. He started this company. 100% credit to him for that. Like I said, we would not have WWE if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, and I'm 100% willing to give him that credit for that. He's done some amazing things in the past.
Yeah. I think there's a wider conversation from that, just in brief, Vince deserves his flowers for everything he's done for wrestling. But the issue is, as a couple of people have alluded to the comments, as you get older, your values that you inherited when you were a kid, this is getting a bit deep, but they stick. So sometimes they can stick with you. You can grow and develop in different ways, but some things are stuck. And unfortunately, what's happened is Vince is, obviously he's been in control for such a long time that he's gotten used to that, but he hasn't had the opportunity to venture outside that and see the diversity that is out there in the wider wrestling world, because he's so concerned with WWE and the WWE way of doing things. If Vince had the opportunity to experience other cultures, backgrounds, and things like that in wrestling, then maybe we would be having a different conversation right now. But the issue is Vince is a workaholic, from my understanding anyway, as a fan, has been a workaholic, has worked his way and had a lot of people doing things his way for the last many years. And so a systemic issue with that is that he hasn't been able to grow and develop himself and his own values. So it's a bit of an issue, really. But Vince was a creative genius. He would have championed, I'm sure, creative characters like Bray back in the 80s, when his vision was about building this wonderful thing that we know and love today. But the values and the things that were around then, some of those values that Vince has showcased, for better or worse, on television and off, without going into too much detail, some of the things that have landed him in a little bit of trouble, they were, they were around back in that time, as wrong as that was, and that is a shame that existed. But now, fortunately, we're in a society that doesn't take kindly to those values as much, and is much more supportive of people's rights and diversity and inclusion and things like that. So I think that, and I think with a CEO of any company, certainly from my experience, like, it's about going, okay, I have taken it as far as I can go. I have done my best. I have given it to the world. I have become a billionaire. It's time for me to hand it over.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you get fired. It doesn't mean you put to pasture. You just because you're old now, you suck. It just means it's time for you to move. Time for you to let somebody else take the wheel. And I think that's
exactly, Dom.
It's a workaholic and it's an addiction, and that's, in my opinion, why we're in the place we're in.
Yeah,
the mustache needs to be cut off. By the way, that mustache needs to go. They're just saying, just right there.
Yeah, that thing bad. The one thing that I'll say about this, and you see this a lot with athletes, is knowing when it's time to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince, to me, doesn't strike me as a person that knows when it's time to walk away, for several reasons. One is he created this global wrestling power that we watch.
I'm sure that's hard to let go.
That's hard to let go, because it's like, okay, this is my baby, essentially, and I don't want somebody to F it up.
Right.
Exactly what Christopher says, passing the torch.
Yep.
Right. So I don't think he realizes that it's time to step away. Plus, I think that he's still in this mindset of no one can do what we do in WWE better than me. And for someone, and it's not like I run in circles with billionaires and millionaires, but I just happen to know a few people and know some athletes and everything, it's very hard for them to let go.
Yep.
Especially when they feel like they've created something from the ground up, and it's very hard to let go. I mean, I'm nowhere near in terms of wealth or anything like that on these people's levels. And I know that when I've left marketing jobs as a creative person, you create something, you set a standard. It's hard to walk away from that, because then it's like, okay, well, is this person going to completely destroy what I took all this time to build? So I think understanding that that's probably where Vince is, and he doesn't understand that it's time to walk away, that is not necessarily him being put out to pasture, but the business and the way that it's done today and the things that appeal to people today
Yeah.
have probably passed him by.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, not necessarily that he's not good at what he does from a creative standpoint, but it just doesn't work today. Like Jodie said, there are certain things that you can do in 1993 and 1983 from a storyline perspective that are great, but you can't do that today.
Yeah.
And there are some things that work very well today that would never have worked back then. So it can go either way. So just wanted to say that. Erase Your Mind asked this question a couple of times, and I wanted to get to it because it's an interesting thought process, and I just wanted to see what everyone's thought process was on this. When does too many returns and reinventions wear itself thin with the casual fans, and Bray or any character can never recover and becomes unsalvageable? Do you think we're there with
No.
him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Everybody wants to
Jodie.
see him. I don't think it was. I personally don't think so.
Okay. Well,
Here's
Jodie,
what-
I'll come to you, and then we'll go back to Nicole, then Tazzy, then Dom.
Yeah. Here's what I know about Bray. His fan base, and I put a tweet out earlier this week that went completely viral for some reason. You know, his fans are going to be there until he's not around. I mean, we're going to be there, and I hate to, it sounds really morbid, but until he dies. Like, we are always going to be there. It doesn't matter whether he's in WWE or somewhere else, or he quits wrestling completely and goes into movies. It doesn't matter. We are all going to be there no matter what. So
Right.
To those hardcore Bray fans, no, I don't think there are any instances where reinventing himself would kind of wear its course. And I know that it's been brought up a lot in the chat about, you know, Alexa being off of TV as well, because she's, you know, potentially in this storyline going forward with him. We also have to remember that Alexa just had surgery as well for skin cancer, and even though she's medically cleared, maybe she's not ready to come back yet.
And not even just because I saw someone make this comment earlier, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Jodie, but I just feel like this has to be mentioned because of what Joe said. But I think a lot of times people look at cleared. Alexa may be perfectly fine and physically cleared to wrestle.
Yeah.
But the mental exhaustion that a person endures when they have a cancer diagnosis cannot be overlooked.
Absolutely.
And I think that's another scenario that people don't necessarily think about. They don't think about what these folks go through from a mental well-being standpoint, and it's just about the physical. But in order for me to do my job, I have to be present both physically and mentally.
Yep.
So I think that's something else that people have to understand.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be honest with you guys. I have been blessed enough that I do know why Bray has not been there. And I feel very thankful that information has been shared with me, but you guys just have to give it time. Like, it's like Jeff said, it's not just coming back physically and being physically cleared. Mentally, it's got to be there too. If he's gone through something really difficult, he has to get back to that point mentally too. And
Right.
whether or not they're cleared and they're ready, they can't just hop into any show. They have to be built into it. Yeah, as fans, we can be like, oh, Bray can just show up whenever, wherever, and we would love it. But, Triple H is going to be that kind of person that wants to build them back into a storyline. So
Right.
they're not just going to show up, just to show up. And Bray's not that kind of person either. He wants to show up and have it be impactful and mean something. And I think, honestly, that's going to come at the draft. So I think we see both of them, at the draft. And James Chadwick said, watch everyone DM Jodie now to see the reason. I have way more respect for him than to tell people the reason that he's not there. That information was shared with me. And, the reason it was shared with me is because, they know that I'm not going to turn around and go tell everybody. So
people have to respect that.
Yeah.
People have to respect that, because I said this many times. They're not just wrestlers. To us, they are also human beings that go through the same things that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
They need to understand that too.
Yeah.
People get injured. People have surgery. People get sick. It happens.
Yeah.
And people need to have patience. As Bray Wyatt has said multiple times, patience.
Yep.
And trust me, next thing you know, he will be back, beating the hell out of everybody, giving people an animal claw. But you need to have patience. And I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but exactly what Jodie said.
Yeah, we have to respect his privacy, and everybody knows that he's a super private person. So, yeah, it took a lot for him to come out and make that video when his Uncle Barry was in the hospital.
Right.
And you can tell how difficult that was just looking at his face, not just to, talk about what was going on, but the fact that he was being public with that information and talking about it publicly. He's not that kind of person. So, he'll be back when it's the right time.
Yeah. He will.
Yep. Tazzy.
Like I said earlier, people are going to feel pretty stupid when he does come back.
Yep.
Tazzy, we'll get your thoughts on Erase Your Mind's question about, is it too many reinventions? And
do you know how many times the Undertaker made a comeback? do you know how many times the Undertaker, and this is coming from me, like too many times. There is never too many times you can not reinvent yourself. Like American Badass, the Ministry of Darkness, or I don't know, bury yourself and come back as the other thing. Oh, hey, whatever you gotta do to make sure your character is on point, which I know Bray does, and I'm all for it. And the whole Alexa Bliss thing, yes, you have to have your mind and everything. The other thing is she is in that storyline with Bray, so that's probably why she also kept on TV too. Same thing with so AJ Styles been hurt. That's the same why the Goodbirds is off TV, because they don't want to just put them on TV just to put them on TV. Why would we do that? It's all part of a storyline. Triple H is known for storylines. I'm sorry, maybe I should repeat that. Papa H is known for storylines. So I honestly think he's such a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. That's the big difference between him and Vince. It's like Vince is like, oh, it's okay, it will work. Now Triple H is known for, I want this to be perfect as possible. I know it's not gonna be perfect, but hey, if we can make it perfect, let's do that way. That's
and Bray's very much like that too. So they make a great team.
Yeah. And not only that, Triple H was also a fan once upon a time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he feels the way we feel.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. And let's be honest here. Let's be real honest about something else too. All of you have mentioned bringing Bray back at the right time and storyline and writing him in and all of that. If he just randomly popped up out of nowhere somewhere, people would complain about that too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Man,
They always
man,
find
wrestling-
For no reason,
wrestling fans will
storyline, blah 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 blah. This doesn't make any sense.
wrestling fans will complain about everything, you know.
Bridget.
It's all good.
That's what we do.
Right.
We've
It's
all
like
done
my
it.
it's like my dad used to say, some people would complain if you gave them $1 million because it wasn't all in hundreds.
Yeah.
Some people would complain that you gave them ones, fives, and tens, even if you gave them $1 million. It's still $1 million, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dom, I want to get your thoughts on Erase Your Mind's question about the reinventions, and then
Yeah, great question. So obviously, you know, I've been on this channel. I've said my piece about you know, appealing to the wider audience and things like that. You know, and this time without Bray is kind of, you know, it's kind of made, you know, it's made me miss Bray again and made me appreciate the creativity. Now, if that, you know, if that creativity takes Bray, it means that Bray has a 6-month run in WWE and then goes to movies, or, you know, goes to TV, or, you know, starts writing a book, and we don't get him as a wrestler for the next 10 years, then so be it, you know, because at least I'm now appreciating that we had, the Uncle Howdy was pretty kick-ass, you know, like the presentation, at least, you know, not necessarily the execution, but like I've had, you know, what, 3 months, not 3 months, but I've had a while without it, and I was like, all right, yeah, you know what, I wanted to see what happened here. You know, I was pretty critical of the way it was executed, and yes, I still believe it could have been executed better, but I still wanted to see an end. So if Bray comes back and I get to see an end to that storyline, whether I like it or not, I still want to see it. I still want to see something. I don't want to see, you know, people are saying, let's push the reset button. Let's have the Fiend back because they want to sell loads of merch. Some of the Give Me a Hull Yeah boys are talking about they're just going to bring him back as the Fiend because that's what sold the most money. Yeah, that might make the most sense on a business level, but I think I want to see this storyline, this new vision of Bray's play out. Mm-hmm. And this absence has given me the time to appreciate, actually, yeah, I'm not going to get all the presentation. And yes, the wider wrestling community might not get it either, but I still want to see it played out because somebody put the effort into starting it. So I want to see it finished. And so for me, the question is there ever enough? Maybe. And maybe Bray goes off in a year, 2 years, 6 months, 5 years to go and do movies. But at least we'll have it. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about, bear with me on this one. This will come back to a point. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about Jeff Hardy returning to AEW and people talking about, oh, Jeff Hardy shouldn't return. Jeff Hardy shouldn't wrestle. And there's an arguable point there. But I'm trying to rethink about how I feel about it because I love Jeff Hardy growing up, right? I'm just trying to be thankful that I even got Jeff Hardy in the first place, that I got those memories as a kid, that I got Jeff Hardy in AEW with one final run with his brother Matt, even if his matches weren't wonderful. I got to see Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. So what I'm trying to say is that I want to see this just so that I can say that one of the coolest times I had in wrestling was watching this Uncle Howdy story play out, talking about it on the Insiders with you guys, and just the fact that I got to, do you see what I'm trying to say? So the answer, the short version is yes, there's hope for it, and if it all comes tumbling down and nobody gets it, and he goes to be a successful movie star or a horror, you know, movie maker or whatever it is, right? Then awesome, good luck to him. At least I got to see it. At least I got to see somebody create a character called Uncle Howdy and gave, you know, his brother got his job back because of it. And we all got to do 1 hour and a half nearly of talking about it every week. And it made us all happy. So that's where I'm at. Yes, there's life in it. I hope it continues. I'm just trying to enjoy being a fan because I love the creativity, and it might not always land, right? But when does every favorite band that we've had, when does all their records land? Not all the time, right? Nobody has 10 perfect records, right? Nobody has, 20 perfect matches in a row. So I'm just trying to rethink the way I think about this stuff. I'm just glad I've seen it, and I would like to see it finished. I would like to see the Howdy thing finished, this new monster that he's created finished. And if I don't get that, then I'm just going to be glad that I experienced it to begin with, and I got to hang out with you guys and talk about it.
Well said.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right, we're gonna go around the horn for some final thoughts now, because we are in overtime mode right now, as we tend to do.
Yeah.
So Dom, I will start with you, and then we'll go to Tazzy, and then Nicole, and then Jodie.
All right, guys. I'm going to put my plugging head on because we've had a week off. Of course, go and watch Tazzy and go and support Tazzy's channel. But if you have a spare tab open and you want to go over and check out Give Me a Hole, yeah, we're in the UK. It is 18 minutes past midnight. My good friend Dan has work in the morning, and he is going to be up doing Monday Night Raw, a live stream for everybody because he cares that damn much about wrestling. So please go and check out, alongside supporting Tazzy and the party, go and support Give Me a Hull, yeah, if you can spare a second window, and go and say hi to Dan because he'll be up with his snacks and watching 3 hours of Raw before he goes to bed for 2 hours to get up for work again. So go and show him some love. Thank you all for your messages and support over WrestleMania. I had the best time, but it wouldn't have been nearly as cool if you guys weren't tweeting and messaging me and stuff. So thank you so much for your support of whether it's the Give Me a Hull Yeah podcast, whether it's me in general. I'm so appreciative because it makes me love being a wrestling fan so much more, being a part of things like this. So thank you guys, as ever, for having me. And thank you to you guys in the community for all the support.
Awesome, Dom. Jimmy Fingers says, how can Bray have any trust in his creativity with Vince being around in any capacity? I don't trust any talent's creativity with that creep lingering. I don't think any of us do, Jimmy.
No, but I
don't think Vince is going to have anything to do with Bray, though. I don't think so.
I feel confident
he's going to be the one mostly involved.
Yeah, even if Bray, even if Vince is around in any capacity, I don't think it's going to be enough of a capacity to inhibit this creativity. I think Triple H definitely has his hands on the reins here. And I think Triple H is the kind of leader that is going to pretty much let Bray do what he wants.
Yeah.
Tazzy, final thoughts, my friend.
Where do I start? Yeah, we're right after we get done here, we are on like make sure you like Dom said, go check them out. Also check out the party. We are starting right after this, literally 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to have a lot of fun. I want to say this, and I want to say this loud. Well, not loud, but loud. Open your mind when you watch Raw today. Open your mind, let everything go, and just watch Raw. I know I say that a lot, but I'm serious about this. There's no Vince in there in the building. He's probably not going to have nothing to do with creative from now on because of what happened last Monday.
Yeah, class was way too loud.
Yeah, so just enjoy it. I know there's a couple changes, but there's a rumor that it's a lot of traveling issues. I don't know what kind of issues. There's not even no drop a raid out here. But anyway, and take your time and appreciate the mastermind you have with Bray as well. We're more than likely going to see you for another month. It's okay. If we haven't seen it for a whole year a couple months ago, then we can actually last another month for this.
It was 15 months.
See, yeah. There you go. See,
I gave him crap about that last time that I saw him.
See,
I said, do you know how difficult it was to keep Abby's going when you were gone for 15 months?
The other one more thing I'm gonna say, because I don't want to stall time. I really guys appreciate you guys, everybody, even everybody on screen. Appreciate you guys. When I was gone, you guys still support the channel. We didn't do enough good numbers, but hey, we were still there, right? So I really appreciate you guys. I'm not gonna be there fully, but I'll be there more than I was a month ago. So I'll be there tonight. Won't be there next week, but I'll be there the following week. Actually, there's a a window where I will be there for every single Monday Night Raw for 2 months. So, but NXT, we're going to do some things. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
We love
Thank
you,
you, Tazzy. Thank you, Tazzy. Before we go to Nicole, thank you, Jesse Callan, for reminding me because I suck.
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
We still have this to do.
Oh yes.
We still have some art to go to. So let's start out with the art here.
I love that.
Wow.
So this is one by Brittany Kay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dope.
It's Funhouse Spray. We all love Funhouse Spray.
That's right. Let's go to the next one here.
I love that one too.
Yeah, that's another one by her from the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. I really want to see. I want to see more of that mask.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
We still didn't get to see more of that. Maybe we'll see it in the future. She has been killing it with all this artwork.
I know.
I am blown away by it.
I know.
Yeah,
I
amazing stuff.
love having the Fiend with the belt. Everybody loves that.
That's right.
Nice.
Yes. So
I love the colors on that.
So this is Wrestling Edits. Grabbed that from Twitter, and I love that, the skulls in the bottom, and it looks like they're kind of smoking almost. And then you've got the Fiend with the Hollywood sign and the Let Me In. I love it.
Yeah,
that
that's
little,
awesome.
that little pop of color.
No.
Hey, Nicole, I love it.
Yeah, I haven't sketched him. I haven't sketched. I know I've sketched the Fiend not too long ago, but I haven't sketched Bray Wyatt in like a couple weeks. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. Love
Thank
that. Love the detail in the pencil.
For sure.
It's been fun doing traditional art. I miss doing it. I've been doing digital art for a while, and I miss using the pencil. So
yeah. So
Thank
great
you.
piece by Nicole. Hurdy Sketch, who is been in the chat today.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I love, obviously, him being at WrestleMania didn't come to fruition, but I love, that run is kind of hidden in the background there.
Oh, I see it. That's cool.
Bray Wyatt's name is hidden in the background on the bottom. It's just it's very detailed, and the red eyes and
lovely detail there, man.
Yeah. Another one by Wrestling Edits, kind of similar to the first one with the Hollywood sign in it, but it's got all different characters of Bray Wyatt. We got Funhouse Bray, we got Eater of Worlds Bray, we got Cult Leader Bray, we got the new one that we've seen in the Fiend. It's been awesome.
I love it.
I love this one. This is another Hurdy Sketch one. I don't know what it is about, I love the cartoon versions of the artwork. I think that's probably why I had Kyle do, the tattoo of Bray that I have on my back is very cartoonish. I love that. I don't know if it's just bringing the humor out in it, or I just really enjoy the cartoon style for sure.
Awesome artwork as always, from all of you very talented people. Thank you so much for sharing your art with us and allowing us to enjoy it and see it out there. So Nicole, final thoughts from you, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. How long did that sketch take?
Well, the sketch took about, I'd say, 30 to 45 minutes.
30 to 45 minutes.
Once I get the face and the upper body, I go right into the detailing, and I don't realize how long I take. I look at the clock, and it's already I start the sketch at 7 o'clock, and I look at the clock, and it's almost 8 o'clock, and Jesus. Don't realize that you're taking when you're drawing something, you don't realize how that time goes so fast.
But the fact you finished that and like under
I
an
draw pretty fast.
that is hella
That's
impressive.
crazy.
I draw pretty
Yeah.
fast. Just before I just started sketching up Liv Morgan. She's like almost finished. Like the face and the hair is just pretty much done. Just adding the detailing of the shadows, the shadowing, and the the little details. But back to my final thoughts. Listen, everybody misses Bray. We do. I do. Trust me. I speak with Jodie and a lot of my Firefly friends all the time. Like I hope Bray's doing okay, And I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's doing better than what he was before, and we will most likely see him very soon. And I have a very huge feeling it's going to be out of nowhere. It could be during the draft. It could be once the draft is over, and then out of nowhere he's going to give somebody the mandible claw. Somebody's going to be the next victim of the mandible claw, and I can't wait for that. Or the Sister Abigail. We don't know.
Or both.
Any version of Bray could pop up, and I'm fine with it. So everything will be all right. And just follow the buzzards. That's all you can do. Follow the buzzards, man.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Jodie.
Oh man, I agree wholeheartedly with that. It's possible that we see him come back with a different character, and he adds another layer to this story. Maybe we see Uncle Harper.
Yeah, we still haven't seen that.
You never know with Bray Wyatt. Like
his mind is everywhere. It's like what Tazzy said. Tazzy said the same thing. It's like, how many versions did we see of The Undertaker? Nobody ever got tired of him.
Right.
No one's ever got tired of The Undertaker. Bray Wyatt's no different. Or Mick Foley. He's got Dude Love and Cactus Jack and Mankind. Yeah. Everybody loves these kind of characters. It's entertaining and it's different.
Yeah, for sure. And just have some patience and have some faith. Bray will be back better than ever. Feeling better than ever. Everything's gonna be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
Make sure you go check out Caleb Johnson's music because it's awesome.
And just because we ended there, I want to play this for everyone, to hopefully cheer you up and to kind of get the feels going, I guess. So here you go.
I'm obsessed with this song. I'm actually rocking back and forth in my chair right now. I'm just in the zone. I am in the zone, folks.
We'll throw this out there too.
Yowie wowie.
Can never get tired of this. Never.
I'm gonna play all of my Bray sounds that I have on my soundboard. So there you go.
I have a friend at work that jump scares me in the back and says, "Yeah," and I'm like, he constantly scare me. Back when I used to work in the kitchen in the hospital, constantly scare me with the "let me in," and I'm like, dang it, I gotta get you one day. Oh. And I never did.
Here's Wyatt.
Speaking of Wyatt.
Hello. What an adorable dog. God bless you, hon.
Really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
There we go. All right.
That's what this page. That's what this is all about. Positivity.
Yes.
Positivity. No negative shit allowed.
Be the
only time I'm gonna curse. No negative stuff allowed in this place.
Yeah. Be the example.
That's right. That's right. So, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it, and I will leave you with this too.
Thank you guys.
So thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you next time on the next episode of Abby's Window. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
So what do you say? You want to see my secret?